Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan from the Howard Hospitality Group. Welcome to another weekly Vending Live. Joining me tonight, I've got Matt from Galaxy Games 843.
What is up, guys?
What is up, guys? And from Xtreme Vending, David.
What's up?
What's up? And also joining us tonight, special guest, the president of the NBVA, Jennifer Jaynes. How are we doing, Jen?
I'm doing great.
Also known as
Thanks
Jen
for having me.
Ben. Sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, of course.
Hey, Jonathan, before we get started, Mike, check your mic input. It seems like you're going off the mic off your camera, possibly. Your boom mic is not the mic that is working for us.
You are right. I'm sorry. Give me a second. 1 second, and should be switching now, I hope. Let's see.
There it is. Better?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Yeah, I that's why we're late, everybody, just so you know. My camera's doing weird stuff, and so I'm like, I'm going to restart real quick. And that's why we're like a half a minute late or a minute late. So I apologize to everybody out there that was waiting for us to get here, but that's the reason why. And then in the process, it turned off my microphone. So sorry. Welcome, guys. How is everybody?
Hey, doing good.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. One more week. And then
One
we're
more week
taking
to
our
the big
break.
giveaway.
The big giveaway, 2 big giveaways. We got a Yao giveaway next week, and we got the Candy Machines Claw Crazy Claw Machine giveaway too. So big week next week. But why don't you guys fill me in on how your week's been? Who wants to go first?
I can kick it off. It was actually
Okay.
a pretty uneventful vending week for me. So over the weekend, we did our inventory shopping at the big box club stores. We went to our top secret location, and we also did our break and alignment shop, which you guys saw the video for today. So that's been kind of the only vending thing I've done this week.
Wow.
Yeah,
What did
pretty
you do the rest of
uneventful.
the time? Suntan?
I've always got something to do. I've got a regular job, so that's been pretty busy there. But also, the YouTube stuff, and we also have family visiting, so there's been, just low key stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
David, what have you been up to this week?
I have secret projects I'm working on, soon to be big.
Ooh.
Hopefully they're big. I mean, and then if it never happens, then the secret projects, projects no one knows about it because they're secret, and so it's like, okay.
Then you don't get yourself in trouble, right? Or look like
Yeah,
you
right.
You should
Right,
also
right.
be expecting something soon in the mail from me.
Oh, you have my address?
Yeah.
Is it because you're the president?
I have some.
Oh, you have my address. Oh, thank you. I that's awesome. That's cool.
She has
All
her
right.
ways, David. She has
Yeah.
her ways. Don't ever mess with Jen. She has her ways of getting all the information she needs. So
I like that David's secret project equals Disneyland. Thank you.
I saw that too. I
Yeah.
love that comic too. Comic magic. I saw that. Yeah.
That-
It could be. It could be.
I wish.
So
That'd
Jen,
be
how
cool.
was your week?
It was good. I'm really excited. We have hasn't been announced yet, but I'll announce it. August 14th, the NBVA has a seminar session that I'm really excited about. I fixed a couple cranes. We had that SW air come up on one of the machines, so gave Jonathan a call and he helped me out with it. And just living life, just servicing. My dad's been going on the route with me, so that's been fun. Went to Korean barbecue yesterday for lunch.
Oh.
That reminds me of
Favorite
Vegas.
place.
Memories. I know. I was gonna say Vegas.
So he's helped me the last 2 weeks, and so as my thank you, he paid for it, but then I snuck some money in his pocket, so I bought him.
Nice.
Oh.
Well, just so everybody
Nice.
knows, when we went to Vegas, the first time that David and Matt got to meet your dad is we went to his favorite restaurant in Las Vegas, which is Korean barbecue.
Yes.
And you get to cook your food right there on these little barbecues, and like your dad's like a little kid in that place. He loves
Yeah,
that
he's like,
place. Yeah, he's so
I think he
excited.
likes it because everyone cooks for him and then cuts it up, and then he
I did
just
like
gets
that
to eat.
too.
But
Right.
yeah,
Jen was cooking for me, I believe,
It
if
was
I'm
it
not
was awesome though.
mistaken.
It was so good.
It was very good, and it was
he
just
likes it
different.
because
It was
his blood
fun.
sugar doesn't go up. He can just
Yeah.
eat some food there, and he's good to go.
Yeah, and the things too. The kids were with us, and they had a blast. They thought that was the most fun, cooking the stuff and putting it on the little grill and stuff. They thought that was cool too. So very neat place. Maybe we'll have to go back again this year. That was really fun,
I can't
and
wait.
maybe make it an annual thing. But
Or go to all you can eat sushi.
yeah, kids
Except
love
for I don't think
sushi.
your kids like. Do your kids like
Oh
sushi?
yeah, they love sushi.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're all about it. Sushi, boba,
Oh,
anything.
but Matt doesn't like sushi.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not a big
right.
I'm not a
I
big
remember
sushi
there was
fan, no,
someone
yeah.
that I was like, oh, we couldn't go to sushi.
Well, I think I mean he can get like a what do you call those bento boxes or something with like some teriyaki chicken on rice or
Totally, totally.
yeah.
That
I
was
mean
when my dad transitioned into sushi.
yeah.
So
We'll get him a California
we'll
roll.
get him
He can
started.
try something. Yeah. No, so we've had a rough week this week in our vending route. So I got about 5 phone calls this week with just problems, and the biggest one for us is we have a brand new vending machine. Well, it's almost a year old now, full line machine that we got from Wittern, and it's one of those refrigerated machines that basically you can put in like sandwiches or drinks or whatever. But we use it as a regular vending machine with drinks and snacks in it. And it's been freezing up. And they told me on the phone to try to set the temperature a little higher. I tried that. So I'm over there. Natalie's filling, and I'm sitting there with the hair dryer, just melting all the ice off the bottom of it. And so we're gonna have to pay. The closest tech to us is in San Francisco, which is a 2.5 hour drive, and he charges by the hour. So it's gonna be a pretty extensive fix, and we don't know. There are, one thing that we learned too. If you guys are buying machines from Wittern, they sell them through many different avenues, and this is something that we learned. And I'll just give you guys the advice that don't buy it from evending.com. Go through vending.com or go through the direct through Wittern themselves. Don't buy from eVending because eVending is a division of Wittern. So they actually are in the same room as the people from vending.com in the same building and everything, but they're a little bit less expensive and they have a little bit better financing for those that like us when we bought ours that weren't, that great. We needed as much help as we could get. But their warranty is only 1 year. So like all Wittern products usually is a 2-year warranty that's fully covered for 2 years. But if you order it from eVending, it's only 1 year. So we learned the hard way that it's probably going to be a, I don't know, $600, $700, maybe $800 fix for this machine. And we could have, if we would have bought it from a different avenue, we would have been covered, and we're not. So our advice to you, if you're looking for vending machines, Witterns are awesome. We've had great luck with them, but don't buy it from eVending. Buy it from vending.com or directly through their salespeople at Wittern. So we learned that. So the other ones were minor issues. We've had a lot of keychain issues. So we buy a lot of keychains that we put in our machines, and for some reason, the new hasps that come out on the keychains are kind of rounded. They've been getting hung up on our machines all the time, and we put rubber bands around them, but that one part that is on the end, for some reason, it wants to hook to everything. So
I've been having that too.
and the thing that we've been learning is that the people want the keychains. Like they don't want their money back. Like because they'll call us on the phone and they're like, and I'm like, oh, I'll Venmo you some money or whatever. We're so sorry. So they're like, we want the keychain. Like, we don't want the money. And they're like, we were so excited to win. We want the keychain. And that happened to us twice this week. So if you do rubber band them, you might want to make sure you tuck in that clasp at the end, because that's been hanging up on our machines and even on some of the plushy, hasps on those too have been doing it. So I don't know if they're just weaker than they used to be and they like to hook on things, but yeah. So anyways, so that's been kind of a bummer for us this week. But the exciting news is that we are actually driving out tomorrow to Santa Barbara. So we're gonna go down and visit Natalie's mom and go down, and my oldest son is gonna look at Santa Barbara City College and Santa Barbara State and check out the schools. And so we're gonna do school tours and stuff. So I'll be gone for a week, but I'll be back for the live stream, of course, and I'll be doing the live stream. Yeah, I'll be back by the time that we're doing the live stream, so I won't miss anything of that. But anyways, that's our week.
Next week's a big week.
Yeah, it's a huge week. So I'll be back. We come back on Tuesday, so I'll be here for Wednesday. Our website's doing really well. Everything else is going great, but it's just our route was a pain in the butt this week. And I'm praying because we're leaving. That's when everything goes wrong. So I'm hoping that everything's fine. So let's get into some comments here.
There's quite a few of them. While Jonathan's pulling up the comments, guys, make sure you smash that like button, help other people find the stream. We appreciate it. Oh, kicking it off right away with a super chat. It's Waco's Car Wash Channel Elevators and More with a $2 super chat. He says, I've been approved for memberships on my channel. Congratulations on that.
Wow. You have memberships on your channel, don't you, Matt?
I do.
Yeah. So how does that work? So they pay a certain amount every month, and
you can set it up any way you want to, really. But basically, I have 3 different tiers on mine, and depending on which tier you sign up for, it gives you certain benefits to be a member.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, we're not quite at that level yet. I don't think that people, and we don't post as much as you do. So it's nice if you're very active. I think it's definitely worth it. But we're just not quite. We're not quite there. And I didn't mention, too, we have 2 special guests coming in the second hour.
Yeah, going to be a good night tonight.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff going on. So let's see. Everybody's like, here we go. Why didn't Jonathan press the button? I see everybody's super supportive in the chat. Appreciate it. Let's see. Matt, go to sushi and get chicken teriyaki. There you go, Matt. Good chicken teriyaki. Okay,
I like the spelling of teriyaki there.
I know. Let me pull it back up. It's pretty funny. All right, so let's see. Here's a question for me. You want to read that for me?
Sure, if you want to pop it up there. It says, Howard Hospitality, aren't there refrigerator or AC repair companies that are able to fix the ice issue?
I don't know if I really want like a refrigerator or AC repair people messing with my vending machine. That kind of scares me. The guy that's coming... When we ordered this machine, we ordered it a special way with certain trays, and it showed up with the wrong trays. And they were cool enough that they sent out the correct trays, but they'll only let you have an actual a tech, install them. They want them installed correctly and pictures taken and all this stuff. So this guy came from San Francisco and installed these trays for us, and I wouldn't know what I was doing anyways, because the way he did it, he had to basically completely gut the whole thing and then install everything on the correct height and stuff. And we learned a lot that day. But I didn't know. Because when I talked to him on the phone, he immediately knew the 3 issues that could have been without even blinking an eye. And I just feel very comfortable having somebody that knows what they're doing, fix it. And plus the guy was super cool, so I'd rather give him the money than some random refrigerator people that I don't know. So he was very nice. And so plus he has the keys, so while we're gone he can go in there already, because he has all the major manufacturers keys, I guess, so he can get in and fix anything.
Cool. So you don't even have to be there?
No.
Double bonus.
Yeah, so he's gonna go on Sunday of all days. He's coming up and he's gonna fix it for us when we're not even here. And then he said if he needs parts, he'll order them and then come back and fix it and whatever. But
totally worth the extra money then.
Yeah, totally. So,
Comp Magic says, I think he's talking about the keychain hasp. Yeah, he says, can you put a straw or something similar over the keychain hasp? I'm guessing to stop it from getting caught. Yeah, I guess you could. You could cut a little piece and then slide it and then close the hasp and slide it over to put the 2 pieces together, I guess. Because it's one of those ones that kind of, they dip in. Like you can kind of they're kind of like carabiner, connectors is what they are on these hasps. And so I don't know what the solution is. Maybe you could just put some tape around it. I don't know. You don't want it to look real horrible either, but right.
I don't know. I really don't know, but it has never done that to us till this batch of keychains. So I don't know if they changed the design or what, but so
was it a plastic or a metal hasp?
They're metal.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like some of them are silver and some of them are gold. The silver ones seem to be a little tougher. Like they don't. The gold ones seem to be the issue. I don't know why, but they feel a lot lighter too. The other ones, the silver ones, are a little heavier keychain or connector on it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad batch, but I mean, 3 in 1 week, and then we've had it, a couple times in the past month or so. It's happened to us
Isn't
too. We
that
just
weird how it just like they all happen at like the same time?
Yeah.
There's
And the
no.
thing is it's not something that you can like put something over the edging of the price shoot or something, like if you want to put something like I've seen a lot of people, they'll put like a rubber thing over the top of their with the plastic, to keep things from getting caught. But like it actually grabs on, like it hooks, so it's not like it's something you can easily fix. I don't know what to do. So if anybody has an idea, keep popping it in the comments. We'll get our way down there to them. But yeah. Let's see.
I took Cray out on my route this week. It wasn't too hot. My dog.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. It's 109 today.
I used to take my old dog, a dachshund, but Cray's a little more sensitive to the heat, but he loved every second of it. I have a couple places where he's allowed inside, so I knew I was going there for long periods of time, so I just took him with me. They're closed, so I just go in with my key and take him with me.
So you have a key to the actual location?
Yeah.
That's what I need. That's exactly what I need right there.
So we've gotten to be pretty good friends with our locations too. So we have about 5 of them that are like that. Like we've got actual like alarm codes and the whole deal to get in, which is pretty cool. And one of them is our favorite candy store. So we always tell the kids, we're like, oh, we're gonna go and go sneak in the candy store when you guys aren't with us and steal all the candy, and they get all upset. But yeah, so it's cool when you build good relationships with these locations.
Yeah,
Like they trust
yeah.
you, And no, it's really cool. So they have cameras and stuff, but I mean, it's just nice.
Yeah.
So
Sure. There we go. All right, another super chat coming in again from Waco's Car Wash Channel, Elevators and More. It's a $2 super chat. It says, our gas prices in Waco, Texas, $2.75. I think I paid $3 this week.
Wow, I
hate
haven't
people.
looked for a while, so I don't even know what it is. But it's ours is always way higher.
Must be nice.
I could ask Natalie when I see her here in a little bit what she just paid. She just filled up the car for our trip tomorrow, so I can ask her what it was per gallon. It's been mid 4s roughly right now.
David, are all your cars electric?
Yeah, all my vehicles are electric. I don't have any gas vehicles right now.
Here's a good
That's
question.
Money saver.
This one from Dunclaw Vending, and this one probably might be best answered by David. It says, I have a potential setup for a small arcade sized 15 feet by 12 feet inside the food court at a Simon Mall. So it's a Simon Mall. Any advice on what machines or what a good lease price would be? He's thinking minis, coin pushers, magic cuts, etc.
Okay. 15 by 12 in the food court? That's a pretty good space. It must be like in their like lounge area or something like that. Man, you could do a lot with that. You could are they giving it all to you? That's like 300 square foot, isn't it? Roughly around.
I feel like they took out the children's play area or something.
Yeah, that's big.
That's pretty good size. That's like 180 square foot. So what can you do with 180 square foot? I would make into a mini arcade if they. Well, it depends. Also, are they going to charge you by the machine? Because I have a location that charges me by the machine, $50 a machine, and then I have a location that charges me for just the lease space. And honestly, my food court's prices are very wonderful. I don't want to really say what I pay on the internet to the web, but I think it's very fair deal what they offered me. I feel very comfortable with what I pay for. So, but that's way more square footage than I ever had. I mean, I've never had 15 by 12 in the food court. If I had that, I would be putting claw machines in there. I'd be putting whatever you can get legally over there. I can't put coin pushers, but I see coin pushers being good too.
I think it depends on also done claw vending. We don't know what the space looks like. So if it's just a spot in the middle of a room and it's not against the walls, that could drastically change what you put in there, because you basically have to build kind of from the middle out versus like in a room where you have walls, you put everything against the walls and then you can add something to the middle. So It kind of depends on the space and what you're putting. Yeah,
It sure sounds fun though to me.
it does. Yeah, so I mean,
I'm
you
me
may need
up
to
for
put,
that
like,
one.
a bunch of machines back to back to fill the space if it's, not walled. I don't know what the space is, so I think that helps. That'll
Is
help.
it an indoor mall or an outlet also?
Yeah, put in the comments, a little bit more about the space or a
Don't
picture.
share the location
Yeah.
though, because you don't want people jumping on that. Keep
Right.
that
Sure.
to yourself.
Right.
Sure. 3 walls.
Three walls. So it sounds like, yeah, you got the open center. Well, here's the thing. You gotta make sure if it's 15-foot wide, then you got more space to put larger machines, because you gotta make sure you have enough room for people going in and out and the traffic flow. If it's only 12 feet wide, I'd be a little concerned, because you gotta make sure you got enough space to walk through it, and maybe just make an L shape if that's the case. But I think 15-foot wide. If it's 15-foot wide, I think then you'll be fine. So.
Very cool, man. Congratulations.
They allow coin pushers. So.
Yeah.
Or, whoa, does it allow? I don't know. I just read why it goes. What state allows? I don't know.
What states? Here, I'll pull it up.
So yeah, Waco says, what states allow coin pushers? And I think there's like a infographic out there somewhere. But remember, those things change all the time too.
There's an
I can
older
tell
one
you-
in the Discord.
Yeah.
You just have to search in the search bar, which you tell
I
everybody.
can tell you, South Carolina does not allow.
Neither does California.
When I was a
Oh.
kid, I remember seeing coin pushers in the grocery stores, and then they all got taken away, and I was really sad because my parents wouldn't let me play with it, and now I'm old enough to play with a coin pusher.
That's like heartbreaking.
It is. I love the idea. As a kid, I loved the idea, and I was too short at the time.
Well, just go to
And-
an arcade and play like a SpongeBob or one of
It's just not the same, Jen.
It's
It's
not
just
the same. I want
No.
to see the cash flow out, and I want to be able to see that happen, Jen. I'll never be able to see that with my own eyes. Do you realize how heartbreaking that is? And
Go on a cruise. Just go on a cruise. They're allowed to do them.
Oh yeah, I actually never been on a cruise, but I've been thinking about maybe that's one of my trips. You know what I want to do? This is nothing related to vending, but I want to fly to to Tokyo Disney and stay there for a week, because I heard that Disneyland is the
amazing.
best Disney
That's
ever.
what I've heard. It's on my bucket list to get to every Disney.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would go to Hong Kong, just because I don't know
Sorry,
I
we got
know.
off track.
Yeah,
Back
we
to
did.
Disney.
Yeah, I'd be. Yeah.
But yeah, they do.
Don't
like,
get you two started on Disney.
I know.
Yeah.
But like on cruise ships, like I remember as a kid, my dad would play the coin pushers,
Oh, I want to
And
play a coin push.
and they used to have them in Vegas too.
Yeah.
So Nathan Johnson says coin pushers with tokens and prizes on top are a good alternative in states that don't allow quarter pushers. That's true, but it's still just not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get the silver coming out with the dollar bills on top, like what
Yes.
Eli and Cody does. They
Correct.
tease you.
Correct.
Yeah. I wish they were. They're just not. And I don't even know why. I mean, I'm guessing it has to do with the Indian casinos and the gambling, but I think it's what I'm starting to learn is there was a lot of things that got taken away a lot of years ago, is what I'm hearing in the industry, that nobody's ever pushed back to see about bringing back, and not just way before COVID, but like there's been a lot of those types of things that they've considered gambling that now aren't even close to gambling. And so I think that if somebody possibly pushed, in certain states and stuff, it might actually be something they bring back, just because.
Well,
I
I can tell you here in South Carolina, basically the laws in place dealt with poker machines, and so they just classified any machine where you put money in and got money out a gambling device. So they just lumped them all together. So that's why
Gray
those
area
are-
gambling
yeah,
is what they call
right.
it in Oregon.
correct.
Can you have them in Oregon?
No.
Nothing with
you go to
money in,
prison.
money out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, So here's a question.
Denard says, is the over-the-edge machine considered a coin pusher? And my answer is no.
No.
There's no money in, money out. There's money in, prize out, which is okay.
Yep. So they're all marbles. And then there's versions of those machines, which a lot of people I don't even think have even seen. We've seen them at the shows. And last year's MBVA, they started coming out like gangbusters, and then they were at IAPA, and then this past MBVA are the ones like the Spider-Man and the Marvel.
Oh, so fun.
Oh my God, they're this
Rick and Morty,
huge,
the Spider-Man. Yeah.
SpongeBob with the little train. You know, like
I'm really good at that.
those are a blast, and they're a version of these types of games, but they're way more fun. And I mean, you can spend hours playing them.
Well, and that's why they make so much money. Is like you don't realize that when you swipe, like we were doing the Over the Edge, and then we did the Spider-Man. When you swipe, it's like $3.
Yep.
And
And
it's
it's like you
card
press the button,
systems-
ding, 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 and it's gone. Yeah,
That's why the
pretty-
card systems are so popular, because you don't realize how much money you're spending.
I know. I couldn't believe what they told me to charge my customers at Kenichi Claw. I was like, "Are you sure people are going to do this?" And they do. So I was like, "Okay, well, that's changed my life on what I charge people." But that's why I have high payouts too, is because I charge quite a bit.
Two people asked the same question, and one of them is a super chat. So I'm gonna do. Well, let's see. I'll just do the super chat because then it'll cover both of them.
Yeah. So Frosty Arcades, $1.99 super chat. The question is, are gift cards okay for prizes? And I want to say, you might want to check with your state laws and just to ensure. But I know here in South Carolina, gift cards are okay because they're not actual money. They have a monetary value, but so does any other prize.
Yeah.
But some states limit the value of it. It can only be a certain value.
Sure.
And
It's $30
Yeah.
usually, right? Isn't it? 30?
it depends on the state.
And area.
Like in Arizona, I can do gift cards, and I can do, I think, a value of $35 is what we're at right now, unless they changed it and raised it. I feel like they should raise it.
Yeah, some areas it's like $5. Some it's, it just depends on what state you're in.
So, like
know
for us, we can do things like that. So we do gift cards, and then we have at a couple of our restaurants. They have, what a lot of people know as what's it called? Like they call it script. Like the restaurants have script, which is they sign it off by the manager, and it's worth a certain value, like $5, $10, whatever. So we wrap that around our plush in a lot of our machines, and then with rubber bands, and put that in our machines, and that tends to be pretty popular because it's just going to be used for food, not actual cash. They can't cash it out. So we do that a lot in a few of our locations, and that's really popular. They seem to play for those a lot more. So one more question, then we'll do what Matt's helping me do down there at the bottom of my screen. So let's do this one real quick here. Hold on.
Yeah, Brawlicon says there was a time when pinball machines were considered gambling. There was a movie on how one man went to court to get the law reversed. That is correct.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Also,
So ridiculous.
Well, they were gambling because they would give out. Yeah, they would give out
money.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. So then the laws were written, and then the newer pinball machines that didn't give out money came out, but were still lumped into that same law, and that's where it got changed.
They fought it in Oregon too.
New York City actually had some big news stories. They would have big piles of pinball machines they'd be smashing in the streets.
Did you guys have paste
Crazy.
pecani sauce commercials when you were growing up?
New York City.
New York
That one?
City. Get a
course.
rope.
I thought that was old El Paso, though.
Oh, is
Paste
it old El
pecani?
Paso? I'm sorry. I
thought
thought
it
it was
was.
paste picante sauce. I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong. You might be right. But I just remember those commercials like New York.
Somebody Google
Like,
that.
where does
for
this
us.
salsa from?
Let
New
us know
York
in the
City.
comments. Yeah, let us know
Yeah.
in the comments if you guys know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one it was, but one of those two I remember growing up, and it was yeah, those commercials. Okay, you ready, Matt?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
So, guys, we are exactly 1 week away from giving away the Claw Crazy Claw Machine from CandyMachines.com. For those of you who have not been to a stream before or listened to one of our podcasts, we're giving away the Claw Crazy Claw Machine again from CandyMachines.com. So myself, Matt from Galaxy Games 843, David from Xtreme Vending, Eli and Cody from Quick Play, Jonathan from the Howard Hospitality Group are working with Andy, Chris, and the whole team over at CandyMachines.com to bring you the Claw Crazy Claw Machine. It's going to be an awesome, awesome giveaway, and we're giving it away exactly 1 week from tonight. That's on July 31st. All you need to do to sign up to win is fill out a simple form that you can find on our Discord server. The tab is called, it's got a little rocket ship on it. It's called Giveaway Candy Machines Claw Crazy 31-inch claw machine. Inside, there's a link to the form. Fill out that form, and then you are registered to win the Claw Crazy claw machine again from candymachines.com. So, guys, make sure you get in there, get that form filled out, so that way you are on the list of names that we will be drawing from to give you one of these awesome machines. Thanks again to our friends over at candymachines.com for helping us out with this giveaway.
So nice.
Yeah.
So I just got a text from somebody in the Discord, and I don't know if that's something they can't find by searching, but do you guys want to answer the question, is there a difference between a plush claw and a non-plush claw?
What do you mean? Do we have some clarification on that question?
So if you go to like candymachines.com, they give you choices and claws, that you can choose from.
So like
one
a
will
candy
say
claw or a plush claw?
it'll say standard claw, plush claw, candy claw. So they want to know what's the difference between the three claws. Do you want to explain it, David?
Yeah, the candy claws, they get bugs in them and they don't make any money. Just kidding. That's my opinion. No, the candy claw usually has like one of those bucket crane.
It's got like
Thank you, Jen. Jen's doing it.
Thing, yeah.
Everyone look at
We're doing visuals for those of you listening on
Yeah.
the podcast. We're doing visuals here on the screen, but
And
you can't
it'll-
see those.
Yeah, you can. It's gonna scoop up the candy. It could probably use like it would work with like capsules and stuff like that
Here,
too. I would
I'll
imagine.
pull up a picture for a visual.
Yeah, and then the standard plush claw is what you normally get with the three little prongs and they grab. But candy, I don't do candy plush or candy claws at all because I don't need candy in my machines. Not that you don't have to do.
So
that.
I use it in a duck crane.
Oh, see, duck crane. There's a good example where you don't.
Some
need
people
it
call them
for-
scoop claws. It just depends on where you're buying it.
Yeah.
But also,
so Candy Machines calls their scoop the 3. It's like the one with the scoopy prongs.
yeah.
yeah, it's got the three
Oh.
triangle.
So here's a picture of a candy claw. It's got basically two shovels that come together in the middle. For those of you watching the stream or the replay, you can see on the screen here exactly what that looks like. This is the coast-to-coast version of a candy claw. It's golden color, but works the same way.
I like the one that Jen was talking about, the 3-claw one.
I can find a picture of that one too.
So how I remember it is the candy claw is usually more like the tractor time, the old time tractor.
Oh yeah,
And they just always I think of it as like a tractor or like a work vehicle that's doing the two pieces together to grab something.
Jen, have
find
you
it.
ever put a candy crane in before? Do they make money? Or I've never had it. I just assume like you get bugs and.
I mean, they do really well in arcades.
Do they?
I don't like it. I don't personally like candy. I do put a little bit of candy in my mixes, but
Yeah.
I've never done a straight candy crane.
Do you
I
want to
did
explain
once.
to them, David, what the difference between a standard claw and a plush claw, or a standard claw and a plush claw is?
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it was a standard claw. It was the plush claw.
So
What's the
if you ever run into that, and I believe Candy Machines does it on their website, and there's a few other places. So usually a standard claw is a little bit smaller than the plush claw. The plush claw is a little bit bigger. So usually it'll be like an M1 claw versus an M3 claw, or usually what your standard claw is good for is if you do a lot of 2-inch bulk items or 2.5-inch balls or bulk, you'd want a standard claw, or ducks. It does really well with ducks.
Well, and
or a
also
plush.
the grippers on the end.
Yeah, the plush will have. Yeah,
Plush
sometimes they have
doesn't
grippers. Sometimes they don't. But the plush claw is considered a little bit it's a little wider, and it's better for picking up plush. So when you're looking at claws, we've never run anything in our machines but plush claws. The old Super Minis that came out years and years ago, they had a little bit smaller claw that was great for those 2-inch bulk items and stuff like that, like the balls and stuff. But when it came to plush, you were really limited on the size that they could pick up because they weren't that big. So now most machines are coming out with an M3 size claw, or you can choose a little bit smaller claw if you're planning on doing ducks or bulk. But some people, like Jen said, she uses her candy claws for ducks, which is awesome too. And I think it just looks cool when you're picking up ducks with them. I mean, they just got a really cool look to them. So
And they
just
prank
had it.
me.
I do have an example too, if you want to share. The
Oh, yeah,
screen
yeah. Pop it up.
Of
Anime.
the 3 kind of scoop version. So here's just a single eBay listing. You can kind of see what it looks like. It's got kind of basically wider ends. When they come together, it almost forms like an actual like surface the item can sit in.
And so at my mini golf location, when I bought those large cranes from the mini golf owner, they actually took a standard claw, or I guess I got plush claw, whatever you want to say, and they custom made their little tips, and they just made it where it slid right onto the claw, and it was just like some sort of hard plastic that was angled like that. That was
There's a
shaped.
company that sells them.
Oh yeah, maybe that's where they got it from. It was like really well made. I was like, oh, and I took them off because I didn't need them. So.
Did it look like it was 3D printed?
Uh, no, it didn't look like it was 3D printed, but I mean, it looked like someone took a scissors and cut like little holes so it could slide through. Oh, that was my middle finger. That's the bad finger too. Okay, don't do that on stream. I'm just trying to say it slides through and weaved in, and then it just made its own little shovel. Yeah, I gotta be careful what I do on the camera.
I've seen people post pictures of people taking plastic spoons and like doing it that way, which
yeah,
I wouldn't
Plastic
recommend
spoons
it.
and rubber bands. Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend that either. No, they did it. It was really good. It was really well. Like I liked it. I liked that I got to slip it off too, and when didn't have to change out the the claw at all. So, but yeah, that was cool.
Inflatables and More LLC says, yes, they do on candy machines. Yes, Jonathan, you are explaining the question correctly. Thank you.
Yeah. So unless you plan on doing a lot of more bulk than plush, I would stick with the plush because we've had all of our plush claws have been able to pick up balls. We've never had an issue of whether it was the emoji, squish balls, or if it was the hard like dino balls and pokeballs and those types of things. It's always been able to pick up hard and soft balls. So I haven't really had an issue with the plush claw doing that. I would think if you plan on just only putting round bulk items in your machine or fidget spinners, or I mean not fidget spinners, but like fidget poppers and stuff, then maybe that might be the way to go. But I'd say get a plush claw because then you have a lot more. You can get a lot more sizes of items in your claw. So in your machine.
You put plastic tips on them?
It came with it. All of ours always came with it. I mean, some of them were just the ones that are the sleeves, they're just rubber little sleeves that slide over them. But the new ones now, they have like full on, some of them have rubber actual with like, lines on them to grab things and really grip it, which is kind of cool. So you can get those items like those plastic balls and stuff a lot easier. And then a lot of times
I only put one on.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a good. Oh, I never thought about that.
So it helps, but not so much that it's going to like grab it.
Stick it in there, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you also have to consider if you're doing boxes. So like the MP4 cranes or this, like when Smart did the MP4 cranes for boxes, you always needed those grippers so that they could actually pick up a box. So if you are running boxes, it's something to consider as well.
Question for Jen. She's the master.
Yeah, the question from Dunclaw Vending comes in and says, thanks. Do you have any recommendations on good change machines? Do you have a preference, Jen?
I've
always liked American.
Yes. I would say American is great. If you can get some older rows, if they're in working condition, they're workhorses, especially if you know where someone is that can fix them.
Like those old arcade style ones from the 80s.
Yeah, they're real old. And you can get upgrades from American Changer to upgrade them. But I would say American Changer or Standard is okay. I like Standard personally, but I have a lot of all of them. I think the capacity is a little bit higher in the American. Just depends on which version you pick. But yeah, I like all of them, Standard and American, and I have lots of.
Clop?
What?
What about Clop?
They don't do a change machine.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking counters. Sorry, you're right.
But yes, I do love Clop.
Sorry,
but no, you're good. But I would say those are the winners.
Totally.
There are a lot of different ones you can import, but I wouldn't. Just because you don't know what you're getting. And with change machines, they get so much wear and tear. You want to make sure that you have something really reliable, and always making
Accurate.
sure that
Yes.
when you put your quarters in, that you are having them go over a surface or putting them in by hand, so you're not getting other gunk and stuff to mess up those sensors. So that's my recommendation.
And that's why
'Cause
you're here.
They
Because,
do get
I mean,
gross inside. Yeah, for sure.
I have a lot of owners that have their own change machines, and I cannot tell you how many times I've fixed other people's change machines, because they do benefit me, because they'll put in the money to make sure that it's always, cranking out the quarters. But sometimes they have, like at one place, they have another vendor that pays them in quarters, and she just hands them nasty quarters. And I can't tell you how many times I have fixed their machine, but it ended up being something gross that just went in with the quarter. So make sure that when you put your quarters in your change machine, do yourself a favor and clean them, or make
they
sure
stick
they're
together.
good. Yeah, and that you're not putting dimes or nickels. Like, I know someone that just like takes the money out of the machine and puts it in the change machine. And it's like, you're going to get pennies, nickels, dimes in
You
there.
totally are. You totally are.
And it's going to disperse them, and some person's going to be pissed off at you. So.
Or jam it, which is what it did to ours. We learned our lesson from doing that, because we were doing that exact same thing where we weren't thinking that kids were putting pennies and nickels and stuff in the
Yeah,
machines.
they'll go right through the mech, but it won't vend anything in those cases. So it'll be in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right. Captain Namco thinks he knows what your machine you're talking about, Jen.
Yeah, Captain Namco says, Gen Ven, those are the Pirates chess machines. Those had come with the rubber tips for the MP3 or MP4 players.
Yep. I had lots of them.
Yeah. Those smart cranes, man, they're fancy. They can make it so they can pick up a diamond. I mean, they're just like crazy how like.
Oh, the new ones, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a ton of the old Pirates chests.
Yeah,
They're still en route.
Those are great machines.
Yeah, but the boards do go out, so you want to make sure you have extra of those boards.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, I think we caught up on all of our comments, which is great.
We do have one more super chat.
I want to say one more thing. The Zombie Slayer 95, Vending, we're good. We're good. He said, sorry, last week's question when I said real job. Forgive me. There was no offense.
Yeah, no.
I just wanted to say that so that you know. Because vending is a job.
That's right. All right, one more super chat from Waco's Car Wash Channel, Elevators and More. It's a $2 super chat. It says, on Monday, I went to 2 car washes and 3 elevators. Sounds like you're really going up in the world.
That's so awesome.
Oh, guys, I that reminds me, because his name's Elevators and More. So, and it just happened. So one of the days when the storm was out, what do you think about this? The storm went out, and I ended up renting. The storm made my power go out, and I ended up renting a hotel. In this hotel, there's an elevator that leads to the rooms. Well, you walk down the hallway. The elevator's first thing you see, and then you got the rooms, and you got 3 floors. Each space by the elevator, there's a big open lounging room with there's nothing there, just nice little chairs and like a window and stuff.
No ice machines or anything?
Well, they got an ice machine, but there's like so much. It's like a big space, like kind of like that 5x12 comment earlier, where just nothing. And what I think it was is I used to have some snack and soda machines up there,
Probably,
but they
yeah.
they have a little store downstairs, and I think that's where they sell it out.
Yep.
And so, but they have nothing else, and it's a really nice hotel, and it's always like really packed. What if I approached them with claw machines? Dun dun dun.
Well, that's what Eli and Cody have a hotel location where they've got a mini claw machine at now.
Yeah. I was thinking about providing them with a spinning machine, like several claw machines on each level. I want 3rd floor, 2nd floor, and then the main floor where the elevator is. So no matter what, when you get off the elevator, what floor you're going on, you're going to see those claw machines. So I really want to approach them. That's one
as long as it's high traffic enough.
I think so. I know when the power went out, everyone was there trying to stay cool. It was a busy place, and it's a nice one. Like, it's a really nice hotel. It's like all indoor, They have a big old breakfast lounge, and It's nice. It's a nice looking hotel. So
Is it busy though when the power's on for everyone?
I was there the last 2 days. Oh shoot! I was supposed to. I knew there was something. I was supposed to meet with her name's Jeannie, the owner, and I was supposed to meet up with her today, but I had other meetings and stuff, and I ran out of time for that one. But that's how I remembered. I Dream of Jeannie. So I was like, I can remember that. But yeah, Jeannie. I'm supposed to meet up with Jeannie and talk to her, and they were busy. Like every day I drove by, they'd just been packed. I counted 50, 60 cars in the parking lot. So
Nice.
yeah.
So Jen,
Doesn't hurt to ask. Go ahead.
you were talking in the beginning when you talked about your week, and I really think we need to talk about what's coming up for the MBVA and the webinar that you guys are putting together. Because I really think that if you guys, this is the stuff that we've talked about on the live stream before, that there's really a lot of value to joining the MBVA before you go to the actual seminars and the why's my brain not working, the expo and all that stuff, so and then you guys are trying to add education throughout the year for people and to basically give some added value to being a member for the MBVA. I know you do your newsletter, and then now we're going to be doing the webinars. Did you want to kind of talk about some of the topics that might be going on in the webinar? I mean, it's sort of kind of solidified. I know it's not exactly solidified, but you don't have to get into detail, but maybe an
So our
overview.
title is How to Protect Yourself as a Vendor. And so it's going to cover a wide range of things that you may not have thought about and that don't get talked about quite often. Actually, literally don't get talked about. And so there's going to be a panel of experts, or not experts, but people that have been around for a really long time that are going to talk about it. And it's something that I very much feel very strongly about because I want to protect our vendors, but I also have very strong opinions about protecting the children that buy from our machines. And because they are our customers. And then they grow up and have kids that are our customers. And so making sure that we're putting stuff in our machines that's safe, that our machines are safe, and just all the things that go into being a good operator. So that's kind of a little tidbit about what we're going to cover.
Yeah,
So
and it's neat because it's stuff that is not only just what you put in the machines and all that, but it also has to do with the machines themselves and
yeah,
like how to take care of your machines and how to set them up, and it's really cool. Like I'm really excited because we didn't even get into the details of it, but just hearing about what the topics are, I think that everybody's gonna learn something from it. So it's pretty cool. Pretty
yeah.
exciting.
And I mean, even having like Kevin be on the call and being like, oh, I didn't even think about that. It
Yeah.
was kind of like, wow, someone that, has been in the industry for a long time is learning some new stuff. So we're going to have some pretty interesting things to talk about for the seminars.
Yeah.
So it'll be August 14th. We haven't released the time yet.
So looks like our guests are starting to come into the green room. We'll get them both in there, and then we'll bring on our guests. We have, let's see, since we might be talking to them for a little bit, do you think we should talk about the giveaway one more time before they come on, and maybe cover that one more time? And then I think that our other guests should be in the room by then. Let me get, oh, there's Matt. He's on it. Okay, hold on a second. There we go.
Who's up this time?
David.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it for sure. All right. We ready? Okay, cool. All right. So guys, if you haven't already done so, this is the very last week, your last opportunity to get your friends and family involved in the giveaway. Make sure you go to the Discord and sign them up. It's very simple to do. The channel is called Giveaway. There's a little rocket ship by it. And you'll be entered in for the giveaway, a chance to win this beautiful crane. I have several of these cranes, and I love them. I've actually ordered more because they are just high performer cranes, in my opinion. They do really well. They're very durable. They have a nice view. It's just like you can see into the plush, and you can put some character and life into that crane just by having no dead space, blind spots, I should say. Anyways, we're doing this with candymachines.com. So OneThinkGameMachines.com, and Galaxy Games 843, Quick Play, Jonathan Howard, and myself. We're doing this together, and we can't wait to do the drawing to see who wins this next week. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, let's do this. Oh, sorry, Jonathan. I know I went kind of fast.
Man, you're quick. Sorry.
I know. That's fast. I was just looking at the weather too. So we got severe storm coming in right now. So I don't know if I'm going to lose power or not. I just want to let people know. I posted an image earlier in the Discord where it is. It's coming towards me, and I watched the movie Twisters. So I'm ready to storm chase.
Jeez.
That's your new job.
No.
Yeah. I got EV, man. I wonder how that would do, because you got the even weight, and I know a tornado is just going to blow whatever over, so you probably wouldn't be smart to go into it.
I mean, your battery adds a little weight, but I don't know if it's enough to really keep you on the ground.
Well, I don't want to get that close to a tornado, but I'm ready. But I can pick up and go in that thing real fast. You know, I can get up to 100 miles an hour really fast in that thing because it's all instant torque. If I need to get going, I'm going. It's all 4-wheel drive, so I can go off road. I'm gonna go start trailing it and like taking my photos. Next thing you know, I'll be a famous storm chaser.
So we got 2 questions and a super chat. So, and then another question actually, and then actually we'll bring on our first guest because one of the questions has to do with them. So let's cover these 2 first here. Let's see. So let's do this one first.
Yes, Inflatables and More LLC says, when placing claw machines, you are really wanting to place them in a location that has people standing around, people waiting at a restaurant to be seated because all the tables are full, etc. I think that probably stems from our hotel conversation.
Yeah, you really want there to be people standing around as your best friend, especially with kids at a restaurant where they're all sitting around waiting to be seated. Those are fantastic locations, or if people are waiting to do anything, is a great location if they're all standing in a certain area where your machine is, because they're looking to kill time and to keep the kids entertained. So definitely. So let me hit this super chat real fast.
Let's go. Elite Claw Amusements with a $2 super chat. Oh, we got another lyric here because of the music little notes. It says, I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Who knows it?
I don't know that one.
I don't know any.
You're the one, Matt. You always know these.
Yeah, Matt'll know, but Mr. DJ.
Carry on my wayward son.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Nice. Okay, David, question for you or comment? Did it come up?
Comp Magic, David, what is the spin and drop that you put in the Discord? Looks interesting.
He's frozen.
Oh, he is frozen. I'm like...
Well, you'll be able to ask Gary about the Poker Prize, right?
Yes.
Which is coming up. So let's bring...
I was laughing. I'm looking at David like, man, he is really concentrating on his answer. Like...
I thought the same thing, too.
When he comes back, I will bring him up, but he's frozen. He's gone now.
He probably just lost power. That's my guess.
Yeah, he probably, yeah. So let's bring on Gary. And, well, you want to introduce him, Jen?
This is Gary Balaban, and he is, what are you now? Like, he was the owner of Pipeline Games, but what is your position now?
Absolutely the same as it was before.
It was okay. I wasn't sure.
Well, the title, they gave me a title. I think I'm CEO over there, but I'm doing exactly the same as I did before. You know, designing, developing, running the company on a day-to-day basis, fixing problems, and you know, my team is absolutely the best. Absolutely the best. They've all been with me for 20, 30 years. So definitely my job's a lot easier with those guys, you know, with me. But yeah, nothing really changed at all. Everything's the same.
He's a pioneer in our industry. He's created some of the best cranes out there and done a lot for this industry. So it's exciting to have you on.
And Gary, first of all, welcome. Can you maybe share a little bit of your history? So I think you've got kind of an interesting backstory when it comes to the whole amusement industry, right?
Yeah, pretty much done everything and anything that everybody listening has done. And then, took that to the next level. I was a player back in the day, hung out at arcades, spent probably way too much money as a player, delivering my newspapers and, spending everything that I made at the convenience store, whatever was at the end of my route to play games, and then, hanging out in the mall at the arcades, and then working in the arcades when I was a teenager. I worked at probably 3 or 4 arcades around the area. And then in between high school and college, I got a couple games and I started my route putting games around. I had that probably up to maybe 50 or 60 different games. And then I've been through a series of friends that I've made along the way. I was a minor partner in an arcade on the Jersey Shore. And then I bought that partner out, switched partners, and I've been in that arcade for 37 years. So I run arcades. I'm my own technician for everything that I have. I can fix most of the stuff. I move games on the truck. About 1998, 99, we were at a trade show and we got involved with importing cranes from overseas. We were probably not the first, but somewhere in the real beginning of the major importers that brought stuff in, not so much to use for ourselves, which we did, but also to bring to the industry and share what we found on the really good imported stuff, and then sell them to others around the country and around the world. And then we, parlayed that into designing our own stuff and not just taking the off the shelf stuff from overseas and selling it to the USA people. We took our expertise in route operations, arcade, running, and being in the trenches like everybody here on this call has done. And we told the suppliers over there, small stuff like you can't make this edge sharp because in the USA somebody's going to get sued when you have sharp edges. You can't make this out of 1/8 of an inch wood because it will get vandalized and stolen. You need to make it out of 1/4 or 1/3 inch plywood or something like that. So we brought a lot of the expertise from being in the field to them. Um, and then myself and my business partner, we started Coast to Coast Entertainment in 98, 99. And we sold that to Benchmark Eloud Group in 2015, 16. And then due to a bunch of fortunate or unfortunate events, depending on whose side you look on, we started Pipeline Games in 2021, 22. And then we sold that to the Bar Partners Group in 22. And they're a big operator too, so they saw the value in manufacturing, what we know how to do overseas. And so like I said, I've done pretty much everything from delivering games in the rain and the snow, dealing with break-ins, going out on a Friday or Saturday night when you should be doing something else with your friends, to fixing games, servicing games, hauling
Sounds
games
familiar.
out, and
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
Well, and speaking
that's
of
the quick
bar
version.
partners, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, but speaking of bar partners, our second guest, David Lahti. I think I pronounced that right. Hopefully, he's not gonna. I had to ask them. They actually sent me like a YouTube thing of how to pronounce Lahti, and I think I did it correctly. But David from Bar Partners is here with us also tonight, and we're going to talk about who Bar Partners is and what he does too. So let's do that because we got some direct questions already for you, Gary. And then I'm sure we're going to have questions for Bar Partners too once he explains who they are and what they do. So David, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Bar Partners and what you do?
Absolutely, and you got the last name right. You nailed it.
Yes.
It's a tough one. It's definitely been butchered before, but yeah, Bar Partners. We started about 13 years ago, 2011, in Austin, Texas. We started, it's in the name, in bars. We started with breathalyzer machines, which is a pretty unique product. You don't see a lot of them out there, but it's literally a wall-mounted unit that will tell you your BAC if you follow the rules, of course. You got to wait a certain amount of time after you've taken your last sip of alcohol to get an accurate reading. There was a straw dispenser there where your drinking straw, you blow through there. And if you did wait a good 10-15 minutes, it was pretty accurate. You had to calibrate them over time. We thought there was a real business idea behind the breathalyzer itself. Like to joke with my partners, it's the worst, best idea that we've ever had, because there really wasn't much money there. A good breathalyzer would make $75-$100 a month, which once we had our first couple cash pulls was started to feel real, that we were onto something. But we thought maybe that there was an opportunity for advertising. All the breathalyzers had little LCD screens on them. We did sell a responsible drinking campaign to a distributor here in Austin. But there really wasn't much meat on the bone with the breathalyzers themselves. But we got about 40-50 of them out there, and established some good relationships with some bars. And all of a sudden we got approached and said, "What else do you guys do?" And we said, "I don't know. Let's figure it out." And we transitioned into photo booths was our next piece of vending equipment. Bought a couple of them from Apple Industries. Actually met with the CEO. He flew down and heard about a up and coming operator in Austin. We were looking at a competitor, and he said, "You got to go with the Apple photo booth." And he was right. It's a great product. We got about 300 of them out there now. And it all just kind of evolved from there. We started getting into other bar type games, your Papa Shots, your boxing games, Golden Tees, Buck Hunters, of course. And it slowly started to evolve into what started as a small local breathalyzer company, into a regional player. Expanded outside of Austin, got into Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. Started moving, across the Southwest and the Phoenix, Scottsdale region, New Orleans. Myself and 3 other guys started the company. One has moved on, but my brother Steven is our CFO. Our CEO is a longtime friend, Darren Delp, and I am our COO. I handle all things operations. So we slowly started growing. In the 2011 to 2014, there wasn't a whole lot going on, but we really started hitting the ground running from there, and we're now in all 50 states through a merger with a massage chair company called Amuse that we did about 2.5 years ago. They did massage chairs in trampoline parks, family entertainment centers. They did not do games though, and met the founder at a show, trampoline park show, and there was some good synergy there. We were the kind of defended his turf a little bit from some other competitors, because there were some one-stop shops that would do everything. They would do the massage chairs, they would do the games. They never wanted to get into that. We had no interest in getting into massage chairs. So we worked together for a long time and referred each other business, eventually merged companies, and it's been really good. Growth has been great, and we're, like I mentioned, we're in all 50 states and actually have some locations in Canada. So international player as well.
How'd you find Pipeline Games? How'd you guys decide to get into purchasing Pipeline Games? What made you guys decide to do that?
Yeah, great question. We had heard a lot about Gary. He's an industry legend. We were buying the cut to wins for a long time before even looking at bringing them into the family. So there was already that familiarity there. We had several out on the route, and we're doing very well with them. And once we heard that there was an opportunity, we definitely jumped on it. And I don't know if Gary feels the same way, but I feel like it's been a successful relationship so far, and really added another level to the business now that we can have in-house games. So we've been putting Pipeline out left and right.
I'd like to add to that, as being part of their group, it gives Pipeline Games a big opportunity to do even more real world testing on stuff before it gets into the average customer's hand. We had the testing club where we do that on a smaller scale, but having route operations in all 50 states, it really lets us test stuff in many areas a lot faster than we could with the testing club. We still have the testing club, but it really lets us fine tune the product a lot faster with the feedback from their route operations. To make sure we're getting stuff out there that's really good for the regular customers.
I think one thing that I've noticed being, we've only been doing this a little over 3 years now. It's not very long, but we've purchased a lot of different machines from a lot of different companies and even some older ones from back in the day. Like, we have a big choice machine. And, you can tell the difference in quality in the machines. You can also tell how much thought and how much has gone into building these machines. And when you look at machines nowadays, you can tell that there's kind of like I don't know if you want to say generic, but it seems like there's like a generic or like a kind of a standard blueprint that they all kind of follow. But then you've got a few in the industry like your games and a few others that take that and it's a whole nother level. So they, like you were talking about the size of the plywood or the way that, maybe where the board is mounted or, how the power supplies connects and where does the power go in and where does it actually connect on the board, from little pieces of stuff that people in the industry that have been doing it a long time, like you, Gary, they know that stuff. Maybe you can talk or touch a little bit about like the process of designing a game, because I think people, when they buy something, they open it up, it just kind of, like especially arcade games, Matt knows this, when I open them up, it still blows my mind. But the people that are buying these machines, like, can you tell a difference in quality? How do you come up with the ideas of where to put things, how they built, that kind of stuff? Because that I think for our listeners is very interesting, our viewers and our listeners.
Right. A lot of it comes down to relationships. I've been, in and out in manufacturing first in Taiwan and then into mainland China for almost 25 years now. So a lot of it's knowing the players and who's going to be there to support me or us later on if there's a problem, and knowing who not to. Like, anybody listening, you can go on Alibaba and you can go find the same stuff that looks the same and everything like that. And then everybody starts buzzing on Discord or Facebook or whatever, like, oh, I got this crane from this one for whatever price, and then you don't know who that person is or what they know. I think I posted an example the other day. There's a factory near one of my factories when I was walking around at night, and I know previously they were making plastic brooms, just sweeping brooms. And the next time I went there, they were making cranes because cranes are popular now. And then next time I went back again, they were back to making brooms again. So the poor sucker that bought the cranes, where is he going to be when he needs help with the power supply and stuff like that? And then us working with our factories that know, we tell them, they might make something and we'll say, no. From me as a technician, from a standpoint would be like, no, that's impossible. You're going to drive people crazy if you do it that way. It's just a silly way to do it. So you show them the correct way to do it. And then there's also a lot of games that we'll stay away from that you might see, people on Discord or Facebook saying, oh, I brought in this game, or I'm selling this game to, some of the other sellers of games. Oh, they're bringing in this game because it looks pretty and it might make, a lot of money for the first couple weeks or something like that. And I look at it as a technician and something that, as a technician, as an operator of an arcade, and I look at it as the CEO of the company, and I say, holy shit, this thing is going to be a nightmare to fix when it starts to break. And in most cases, we'll just shy away and say, you know what, you guys go buy that. It's nothing that we want to support, because we support our stuff so good. I was doing tech call this morning with somebody that has something that I made at Coast to Coast in like 2007. I never want to have to tell a customer, just like I never want to have to I don't want anybody to tell me on a big expensive game I bought from, Betson or Endemiro or LAI, whatever, that I'm sorry, we can't support that anymore because we don't have parts and it's 1 or 2 years old. So I like to make sure everything has got some longevity for it. And I'm going to be able to tell you, if I don't have the part in stock, which 99% I do, I'm going to get online really, really fast, and I'm going to have a one-on-one conversation with who made that factory, or the factory that made that for me, and I'm going to get you what you need. And probably some people even know, like, through the chat groups and stuff, if you have problems with other people's stuff, and I know who made it because you'll see me posting like, let me see a picture of that board. I'll know who made it, and I'll even go and help other people. I'll go right to the source and I'll say, hey, can you get this guy a board, or can you get me some tech data on this, or something like that. So that's really what it comes down to. There's more industry experience as opposed to a guy that says, oh, I brought in 10 minis. I'm going to sell 5 of them. I'm going to make my money back, and I'm going to use the other 5 for me. And then where are you getting parts for that tomorrow? It's, short-sighted versus long-sighted, and how long you're going to stay in this business and what you're going to do with your business and how big you're going to grow or not.
Yeah. Very cool.
And that's what attracted us to Pipeline. Gary would take a call on a Saturday evening. He literally no time that he's not going to try to help you out with a problem you have, and his team is the same way. They're night and day from some other manufacturers in this industry, and we quickly saw that. And it's refreshing, because when you run into a manufacturer that isn't that way, it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
You've spent the capital, you have these machines out, and overnight they can become useless if the manufacturer can't support them, and you'll quickly find out the ones that can and can't. And Pipeline and Gary are definitely one that can.
So Gary, you've got a lot of fans in here that are saying hi to you, and then we got some questions for you. So let's see if Matt will read them off for you here.
Yeah, I need to join this conversation somehow, right?
Okay.
Dunclaw Vending says, I'm interested in the Poke Prize by Pipeline. Does it have win ratios like Claws, and how big of prizes can you hook onto the clips? Also, what is the typical ROI? I'm guessing they mean time frames.
Okay. Yeah, we actually had special software written in addition to the base software. So we have a skill version of the piece that's going to be good for some states that require a non-percentage payout. Washington State, New Jersey, rumors of Ohio and Arizona too. So that'll be 100% skill version, based on the skill of the player, how hard it is to win. But the regular version that ships, and I like to say it's the one that makes money. That's a percentage version, so you can control the payout ratio, win ratio on each of the clips. I think there's 9 different values, so you can have 9 different value prizes. You can have a high value prize surrounded by 2 low value prizes on each side, so you get the almost factor. And again, this is only going to be where it's legal to use, so you have to check your local areas and make sure that's not going to cause a problem in your area. What was some of the end of that question there, other than the percentaging there?
How big of prizes can you hook onto the clips, and what's the typical ROI?
All right, and the physical prizes.
Probably shouldn't answer the ROI one though.
I'm sorry?
Well, that's going to vary.
ROI, you can't answer that one.
Right. Yeah, ROI is, that's based on your location. I've seen postings on Facebook from some of our customers that have bought them, and they do a 3 or 4 week return on investment. That's extremely good, and he's got a really high volume place, so it depends on the location. I guess you can really, and it depends on the merchandise too. It's going to come down to, if you have a crane in there that you bought at a similar price point, and you had a return on investment ROI in 6 months, I would say you're going to be looking in the same area. Again, with the merchandise, we fill it with merchandise before it leaves, really good stuff, so you're going to be good there. And then if you want to put good stuff in it, great, you're going to do the same. If you're going to cheap out and put garbage in it, then your revenue is going to reflect that. Same thing for minis or full size cranes. Yeah,
100%.
Can those hold very much weight?
The weight, I don't know. We've never really put anything, we've never thrown, a weight test on the thing. Keychains, no problem. Pokemon cards, think about that. It's really like a clothespin type device in there with 2 pieces closing. They've got ridges in them, so it's a little bit, tacky in there to keep stuff from falling out. Bowling balls? No, don't put bowling balls in there.
That's right where my mind went too when you said weight. I'm like, bowling balls in there in a bowling alley.
Yes, small children, no, don't put those in there. Probably anything, weight-wise, candy-wise. I've seen people do like the small, not the $5 bags of loose candy, like Five Below sells, but the other ones that cost like about $250. So whatever weight that is, you're probably fine on there.
Like the movie theater size.
Sure.
Yeah, like movie theater boxes. If you put those little plastic clips on it, you should be okay with that on there. Like that weight, that'd probably be almost the max you're going to put on there.
Okay.
All right. Brawlicon says, Mr. Gary, will you get a medium-sized clip machine for the location that can't fit the full-size PokePrize machine?
Yeah, we're working on a mini, not a medium. I mean, when you start having small, medium, large, it's much too much to handle in the stock room, and it always like handling clothes and things with sizes. It seems like no matter which way you plan, we need more minis. Then people want the big ones. We need more big ones. Then we're stuck with minis. So we do have a mini. I think probably within the next couple of weeks we should have a mini size one coming out for this. But again, when we're making it. Of course, anybody can go on wherever Alibaba and buy a mini right now. We want all of our stuff between our big one and our small one, just like our cut-to-wins, just like our cranes. I want all the parts to be the same. I want the board, the programming, all interchangeable with everything. So that's what we're just redesigning the cabinet to handle our existing internal structure, and then we'll go in there. So soon, we're coming.
That's great stuff.
Especially that programming. That's key. I mean, people can throw parts together, but if you don't have
in a hurry,
it's pointless.
Can I give a little insight real fast before you go on to the next question?
Yes.
I think Jen, you actually stumbled upon it. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, but putting parts together. A lot of people don't know that probably 8 or 9 out of 10 factories that you see advertising online, or they solicit you through whatever, they're nothing but an assembly house. They don't make anything on there. They buy the kit for the crane in a big box. They buy the kit for the PokerPrize style machine in a box. Somebody makes the cabinet, and it's put together. So when you say, hey, can you change the program a little bit because I don't like it or whatever, they don't have a clue how to do that. And that's how we vet some of our suppliers. I make sure that there's an engineer on property, and if he's not on property, I want to go see him. I don't want to see a picture of him. I want to go see his stuff, because I'm an engineer by trade. Also, that's where my degree is. I want to go see his desk. I want to see the mess of wires. I want to see what he's doing there. So most of these people are really just putting together kits, and they don't know what they're selling. Before we dealt with the PokerPrize that we have now, I went out with one of the other. I went out to one of the other factories I've known for a while. And I really, really grilled them. I was like, we need this change in the program, and we need this change to the program. And they hesitated. And they said, oh, yeah, well, we have an engineer. I never got to see the engineer. They never could make the changes to the program for me. So at that point, I know I'm not dealing with anybody. They're just an assembly house. So, yeah, anybody can put together the parts. It comes down to, I like all my factories to make all their own computer stuff. I don't want them buying it off the shelf from somebody else. So we do almost all of our PCB manufacturing, programming, and stuff by our people. So our stuff's you're not going to get my board, my program, like Jen was saying with the programmability about the percentaging and stuff. You're not getting that from anybody else exactly like ours.
I've even heard that some of them are even just made in people's houses. That they'll just sell them on Alibaba, and it's actually made in someone's living room.
The one factory we went to while we were finding the good factory to do our cut-to-win for us was actually in a residential apartment, and you walked up the stairs, and it was cut up into bedrooms and living room or whatever, and they were making them there. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the same factory. There's no elevator. It was just stairs walking up. They actually pulled out a big window on the 2nd and 3rd floor, and they would load stuff out of the window when it was time to take stuff out of the building. So absolutely.
Wow.
I have a lot of good stories like that.
That's crazy.
How do you check those?
All right, Inflatables and More LLC. Not sure if we're going to have the answer to this one, but he wants to know what's the best way to check regulations for your state prize redemption machines or claw machines. He's in Louisiana, but does anyone have any info on a good source to find that information he's looking for?
The best I can tell you to start with is go look and see if you have a state organization. Like I know down in Texas, you have the AMOT, Amusement Operators of Texas.
Yep.
Most of those big states, New York has. I'm the vice president of the New Jersey Association of Amusement. Go look up online. There has to be some kind of group there,
Yeah.
and just reach out and try to grab them. If
you can go to the AMOA website
there you
and
go.
see all the different sub organizations per state, and some states are big enough that they have two, like California has two. I think Texas, you have multiple. But that's one way to do it. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's
But
good. I didn't know.
they
I
do
didn't know
have
that resource was available. Good, Jen. That's great.
yeah, they do have a list. I'm on the board for the Oregon AMOA, and they'll help you figure that out. And also, they help make sure that certain regulations don't come into play. So
right, and of course,
And
they
they
might want to
protect
do
vendors.
stuff, but it's invaluable to be part of these organizations. You have the resources that you're not going to get on your own.
Definitely.
You can
And
ask
then also
distributors.
check your local municipality, because there will be someone that knows the different regulations for the local county and stuff like that. So making sure that not only your state allows it, but making sure that your county also allows it, or city. So
What were you going to say, David?
The distributors are a good resource. Distributors and manufacturers a lot of times will have that information. It is harder to find than you would think. If you can't get it through your AMOTs of the world, it's not published online a lot of times. So you got to do some digging. But just industry, asking other operators, asking your distributors. There's somebody out there that knows what the regulations are if they're operating in that state.
Don't assume because you saw a machine at the convenience store or wherever that it's legal. Some guys, I see them, they're like, oh, I saw a money pusher at the gas station or whatever, I'm going to go do that. Don't assume because it's there it's legal. Just means they didn't get caught yet. So do your research.
That's correct.
or that they don't have a license, like in New Jersey, how you guys have licenses. Like,
yeah, we have a horrible state.
Yeah, but I mean, that they may not have the sticker present or different things like that. So also look into that as well.
Yeah.
All right, Lolly H saying, love my cut to win machine. Got the little emoji money face there. That's pretty cool. All right, another one from Dunclaw Vending asks, interested in a perfect 10, how exactly does it work?
Okay. Real simple game. There's, I think, 5 prize rings on there. You can put 5. I think it's 5. I don't have one in front of me. Each prize ring can have a different value prize, again, where it's legal. So you can have high value stuff, low value stuff. And it's a real simple game. The instructions are pretty clear on there, but it's one of those games that really doesn't need instructions. So once you choose your prize, it's all voice assisted. When you put the money in, it says, please choose your prize. So you choose your prize, what item you're playing for, and then the counter starts at 0.000, and it's got some cool background music, and then it just starts to count up like a clock or a timer. And as it gets close to 10.000, you have to try and hit the button and stop it. And if you catch it exactly at 10.0, you win. Very fast gameplay, very addicting. Again, this is a merchandise-driven machine. Some people have just put garbage prizes in it, and they've complained that it doesn't make money. Other people are creative, and they put good prizes in it, and they take advantage of the percentaging feature, and it makes money. It's a great prize machine. That's another one that we vetted in my arcade before COVID, and it just took us a little while to get it out. But we knew that was a winner when we had it in my arcade.
I just don't understand why people don't put good stuff on those kind of things. It's like, true.
I know, like, so I spent some time in Jersey in the Jersey Shore. The old showboat. What's it called now? The Lucky Snake,
Lucky
whatever
Snake.
it's called. Yeah,
Lucky Snake.
I got to play all your machines in there, and I know, like, there's some really, really, really good prizes in those machines. So that really drives the plays. But speaking of like the perfect 10, I could really see that doing super well in like a bar. People have a few drinks and they're like, who can get closest to 10, and like just play all kinds of games like that.
I was going to mention a certain product that we put inside the Perfect 10 exclusively in bars. We do adult toys in them, and they do very, very well. Obviously, it's for a very certain demographic and location, but they've done well for us so far.
Yeah, there's a a lady that contacted me the other day and wanted to sell me vending machines, and they were just Wittern machines, but she sold the products that she put into them. So she would sell, the Wittern machine along with it, but she would do adult stuff in the machine, and that was her thing. And each one had a cute wrapper with a funny name and all this stuff, and it was basically she was doing that for bars, and she said they do very well.
And
And it was
clubs.
yeah, clubs and bars and stuff. So
Yeah.
not only because you can do headphones and all that kind of stuff too, but and chargers and things. But she was doing all the other stuff too, and so I thought that was kind of a unique idea. But
We saw that at IAPA last year in the bar we were hanging out at night near the show, and it was the same thing. It was like a Wittern machine with all kinds of like really cool novelty adult themed items in there, and I think we probably spent $20 or $30 to get a couple of the cute novelty things out of there. But an awesome idea that she has.
all right, so
People started to ask questions like they want more specifics. We're not going to go that deep into it, guys.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
I mean, yeah.
Ed says, Gary, my perfect 10 has come around. Sounds like Ed has put some good prices in there.
nice.
And you got to stay current. You can't just like rely on a trend to like keep like people posted recently that they put Stanleys in their
I
machine.
know. I saw
Yeah,
that
I
on
saw
that.
Facebook
Like,
too.
I'm sorry, but you're like a couple months late on that. I mean,
you're late to the party.
but you got to stay current with it so that people are wanting to play, or like what's the new like Lego, or what's the you got to know your audience with those.
I tell people also, like, they ask what to put in machines, and the other that always ties in with the question of when do I put my Christmas toys in my crane? When do I put my Halloween toys in the crane? So this is the same thing. Big companies, Walmart, Target, they spend millions of dollars on marketing to know when to put stuff out. Just walk into a Walmart or a Target. The hot items, whatever it happens to be, if it was Hatchimals a couple years ago or whatever's hot, I think Minions movies and stuff, just go walk down the aisle. Whatever catches your eye without much effort in the middle of the aisle, that's the stuff you put in your machine, even if you need to
Totally.
go and buy it at Walmart. When do you put your Halloween? When do you put your Christmas out? When Walmart puts it out, that's when you put it out.
Exactly.
So we got a couple super chats, and one of them's actually on that topic. So let me pop these up here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get those acknowledged. All right, next super chat coming in from Frosty Arcades. It's a $1.99 super chat. It says, do you guys recommend 50% license plush or 100%? I think you're going to get some mixed answers here.
Yeah, I'll take that one. It's actually been a recent topic of discussion internally with us. We use a lot of generic plush. Our philosophy is we would rather see kids win more often, and I think they're happier winning something than trying for a licensed piece, which you're going to have enough dollars come through to pay for that piece that's anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 times as expensive as generic. We do some license, so don't get me wrong, there's a place for it, but our philosophy as a whole has been we think winners make players. If a kid knows that they can win, they're going to come back and play the next time. They put $15 into that crane for a piece of Marvel plush and didn't even get close to winning it. They're probably not putting any more money in the next time they come in. So there's definitely a science to it, and we're even 15 years in trying to still figure out exactly what that is. But in general, we like the turnover. We like to give away prizes, and the generic type stuff is cheaper, and you can afford to pay out more on those.
What about you, merchandising expert Jen? What do you have?
Couldn't agree more with that.
Well, if they're saying like a 50% mix of like buying it from like an A&A or someone or Pipeline, my personal opinion is I don't like to buy mixes because I want to know what the cheapest item is in my mix. I want to make sure that it's something I would still want. And so for me, I don't favor it on a 50% license. I look at it as what's my overall, what am like, I guess I'm not saying this right.
Your average margin, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that my cheapest item is still something that I want and not something that a supplier is
Picking for you.
throwing in there.
Trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't place a ton of value on licensed stuff, but I do like to mix it in. So like I mix it in, but it'll be in a spot where it's a little bit harder to get to. But it's a focal point so that it does catch the eye of someone walking by. But I wouldn't say that I'm big on the 50% or having a ratio. I think you want to make your machine look like anything in there is worthwhile and not just this 50-50 license. So that's my opinion on it.
That's 100%. I agree with you 100%. And so we do the same thing. So if you look at our machine, there's always good stuff in our machine, and we do sprinkle those licensed items in there. And there's stuff like, I'll get texts from Jen, and she's at Target, and she's like, "This is on sale. Go use your Target card and get some of this, and you get 50% off." And I'm like, "Oh my!" So I go down there and get 10 of something, and then I'll just throw it in there that week or for a couple weeks or whatever. So definitely look, at places, go into Five Below, go into Target on sale, Walmart, those places. And if you see something, especially like right when you walk into Target and like the little dollar section, they have a lot of really cute stuff in there that is usually seasonal. So whether it's Christmas or Halloween or whatever, and it works well in the little machines. So definitely check those little areas. But you don't have to buy necessarily all licensed stuff. It doesn't have to be all Disney, all Nickelodeon, all that kind of thing. What you need to do is do what's popular. Like Gary was saying, you're going to do your Deadpool, your Minions, the things or the movies and stuff that are coming out that everybody's talking about. That's what you sprinkle, and you put them exactly where Jen said, which is around the outside edge, so they're harder to get to, and they're facing out, so when people walk by, they see them. So that's the best way to do it, and that's 100% correct. I think you're right. So anybody else? What about you, Matt?
So, I said there's probably going to be multiple different types of answers because I think, the location also plays a role in it too. If you got a full-blown arcade with multiple machines, you're going to have to do more like designated machines. But if you're just a street operator like myself and only have one claw machine in a location, I also, use that same theory that winners create players. So I like to use a lot more generic plush too, but mix in a little bit of licensed stuff here and there to catch the eye. So that's kind of
you have to say that Gary's mini plush is chef's kiss. It's very great, and it.
Well, wait till you see the new ones we're working on. We just started working. And wait till you see the new stuff that's going to come out.
You heard it here first.
This is why you're on the live stream, Gary, because you get as excited as we do about this stuff, and I'm almost 50. And I'm like a little kid, man. I get so excited about this. And to seeing your face light up, like, wait till you see the new stuff. Like, that is so awesome. I just think that's amazing. So very cool.
When we were over in, what month is it? When we were over in May, we worked on the new one. Bev was instrumental. Bev from our office was instrumental in bringing some ideas, pictures, and samples of all new materials and stuff on there. So we're working on that now. And like you were saying too, about I run, I don't know, maybe 75 cranes total between my arcades on the shore, like maybe 15 or 20 in a location. And I don't run any generic at all in my arcade. I haven't for a really long time. My players, I'm in an amusement park. My players want the license. So every single window in my arcade will have a different licensed product in it. But it's different. Street operator with one game in a pizza shop is definitely different. So depends on the location and the customer.
Yeah, totally.
Well, and they expect that there too.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's like 30, 40 miles down the shore from me in another type, similar location, amusement park. They won't play. It's a different demographic. It's a higher end customer than where I'm at. And something they'll play for, like my customers never play for Hello Kitty. What was that other one? Some of the other, the Japanese anime characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Gudetama and I forgot the other one with a T.
Like some of that stuff
they won't play for where I am, but 30 miles away down the shore, different demographic. You just look out there and it's a different type of person, and they'll play for that stuff. So you definitely got to know your customer. Don't assume one location is going to have the same.
So true, because I think a lot of people don't understand the demographic of the Jersey Shore. Wildwood is way different than Ocean City, which is way different than Seaside or anything like that. So I mean, you really got to kind of know your audience.
Yeah.
We had a super chat.
We did have a super chat. We heard multiple air horns, so
I
think
hit
we're
it
good
too
on
many
the air
times.
horns.
Sorry.
It's all good. Waco's Car Wash channel, Elevators More, with another $2 super chat. Maybe he's going to add some meteorology to his channel as well. He says our temperatures this week have been in the 80s all week. Thanks for the super chat.
109 today, boys and girls.
It
No
was actually
thanks.
a little cooler for me. It was in the low 90s for me today.
And we got a bunch of stuff for Gary here, but let me do this other super chat real quick.
Yeah, let's get those acknowledged. This one from Good Vending LLC, a $5 super chat, says, Gary, I think your Claw Mania is the most attractive claw on the market in 2024.
Nice.
Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
super chat. That's very cool.
Thank you.
Do you have your internet open, Matt? Do you want to pull that picture of that up?
I
so
could do
people
that.
know?
Yeah, I could do that. Let me get it
Okay.
pulled up.
And then let's see. Let's see. I don't think they understand that. That's why. Let's see. Oh, look at this one. This is a good. There's a bunch of good comments on here.
Ed says my two cut to wins are still king, still running PS5s with extra controllers. Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
Me too.
Do you put them on a stool or do you just put them on the ground?
No, I put them on a stool in there. I have stools for my arcades with my logo on the back of them that I did a bunch of years ago. So I put one of those in there. Sometimes they try to take the stool, but between the stool or hanging the empty box on string inside, so it just kind of floats there in the middle. Either one's good. I never put the real item in there. They have to bring the box to the
okay.
counter. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, the old dude. I don't think we've heard from the old dude before, but he says our cut to wins are money printing machines.
All right. Sorry. Did you share your screen? I didn't see it. Oh, yeah.
I'm still getting.
Okay.
You actually look like you have gotten younger, Gary.
Oh,
You
really?
You look like you're like, I would say like.
Probably because he's not at the show and stressed out. That's probably why.
Now, does anybody know where I am right now?
I was
No,
wondering.
You're in a hotel, aren't you?
I could tell.
I'm in a hotel. I'm actually in Hong Kong right now.
Oh,
That
Oh,
might be the case.
so it's the morning.
Thank
over
you,
there.
Jen. Thanks for the compliment, Jen.
You're welcome.
okay. Let's see.
Yeah, do we want to take a look at this Claw Mania machine? Look at that. That is so bright. Can I
I love the
can I
logo.
click on it and make it bigger? That is really cool looking.
Yeah, my artist is doing really good things right now.
Man, that's awesome.
Sneak
I mean,
peek to get excited about. We have a waterproof crane coming out pretty soon. I just got the graphics for it yesterday, and it's really, really good looking.
A waterproof crane.
Oh, David will like hearing about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
'Cause he has a
'Cause he's
lot
got
of
a-
outdoor
he's got some
locations
outdoor
in
locations, yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah,
Not many games that can go outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
not gonna say put it in a typhoon, but it's gonna be for we're gonna, don't worry, we have samples coming. I'm gonna test it in my places on the shore first to make sure that it's gonna hold up and stuff like that. I mean, don't dump it in a pool, but I'm sure it's gonna be water resistant, like your iWatch or your phone.
So like maybe if you have an outdoor location that's like kind of under an awning or under
Cover
a
or something. Yeah,
under
it
a
should be
cover or
fine.
something that
Yeah.
should be good.
Is it gonna have seals so that bugs can't get in?
Yeah, you have to weigh the availability of seals versus ventilation.
Oh,
They do
yeah.
throw
Some
off a
kid
little
got
heat.
in there too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna die of suffocation. But no, once it gets here, then we put our spin on it and make sure that it's got everything that we're gonna see and the operators are gonna see. But we got a few coming in once they get the graphics on it. We should be able to show it at IAPA, but I'm sure we'll leak some pictures out here to this group as we get them in.
There we go.
I was
There we
wondering, are fans not as important in claws as they once were? Because I've noticed that the majority of, like, my little winner doesn't have a fan in it, and then a lot of the other cranes, they aren't using fans anymore. Are they just not needed?
Well, a lot of it is the technology's changed a lot over the past 20 years. The power supplies, where a lot of your heat's going to come from, were physically bigger 20 years ago, and thus they needed a fan and ventilation on the machine. The new power supplies are about probably a third of the size. They don't throw off nearly as much heat as the other ones, so ventilation isn't that important, and they're not airtight. I mean, the door and the coin area and everything, and the prize area especially, there is some air coming through there. So it's not as important as it was. The LEDs are the negative on that. The LEDs throw off a little bit of heat, so the more you have, the more heat they throw off. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Awesome Lego 123 says, what do you all as people in the industry prefer, smaller or larger cranes? Again, I think you'll get multiple answers from this one because everyone's got their own opinion on this topic. I prefer the larger cranes.
And it's also application, like what is where you're going to put them. So like you can't just, there's not one answer for that question because it really has to do with the type of like business that you're trying to run or get your equipment into, like how much space, and like there's a lot of variables to that.
I think everybody can agree that when you see these pictures posted where these guys with the minis put a mini on a big wall, and then you see just like little mini, that's just ridiculous. Then at a minimum for a location that has the room, a 24 or 31 inch machine, there's no reason to put a mini there unless there's only this much room. Then go ahead and stick one in there. In my operations down the shore where I have a lot of room, I can do what I want. I've done 38, I've done 40-inch machines over the year. I keep settling back to the 31. I think it's the best bang for the buck. You get a lot of windows where you can have more machines. It's just a good versatile size. That's for me. What about you guys on the route? Are you like the 31s too?
31s definitely what we have the most, and plenty of 24s. I mean, the little winners, the duck lockers, the candy lockers, the toy lockers, they do very well. And you can line them up on a wall, and they all have different products. They all have a little bit different shape and size to them. There's a place for all of them. And like Gary said, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to go below 24. Although we do have some of the mini twins that I think are 12 to 16 inches per play field, but those are kind of a unique piece that we don't do a ton of.
With the right product, the minis, that you guys have another container of those, I think, that just left of the mini City Twins.
We do.
With the right product. I would never use that small 15, 16-inch machine for plush at all. The way they're supposed to be used is running small keychains, higher end little novelty, stuff that's this big, not for small plush.
Yep. We use mini toys in those, stuff that maybe cost you 50 cents per. And you can set them at $2, play to you win, and they do very well.
We have some stuff coming in. I think the first load is going to be higher end plush, like really nice stuff you'd see in like a gift shop for retail, $9.99, $12.99 stuff, and little clear bottles with they look like mini lava lamps in there, and they have little things that float around in them as you turn them. That's what those small machines are for. And then we have metal cars and buses and some off-road vehicles coming in on keychains, but nice detail stuff. I mean, it's not 25-cent, 50-cent stuff, but that's what those small machines were made for.
Yeah, we're a firm believer in upgrading our route. So we believe that where we are, we don't have locations. We have a few, but we don't have locations like big malls or anything like that. So for us, we always throw a mini in a place to get into a location, and then usually 4 to 5 months down the road, we're ordering a 24 or 22 to 24 inch machine and upgrading that location, and then taking that mini and getting another location with it. So I think minis are great for people that are trying to get into somewhere that doesn't have a lot of room or is very hesitant about putting a machine in their location. It's a great starter machine for each location, and then you can upgrade. And I mean, if you have, if you're going into a pizza parlor or something, you have a lot of room, but if some places don't want all that in there. So I think there's a kind of, like you said, Jen, there's a spot and a place for every different kind of machine. And it just depends on what you're doing. So
I mean, you can use it as a soldier, get it in, and then upgrade like what you were saying. But I have a lot of spots where that's the only space that I can fit it in, and they're so packed and busy that I'll take it. Like I'll go visit it, every 3 weeks or every month. even though I don't like doing that, but it's what you got to do.
I think I've said in another interview or whatever we were doing here, I said, you guys use those small machines as bait. If that's what you need to get in the location, just put that in there. And then, like you
100%.
said, go back in 2 or 3 weeks. Say, hey, it's doing really good. How about I bring you a bigger machine? And they're all going to say yes, but definitely it's a great bait to get the bigger stuff in there and make more money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kevin Shambaugh is the one who always says the soldier. He'll like walk it in and set it down and be like, doesn't it look beautiful? And
yeah,
then
he's good with that.
And then he does that whole thing like you just said. I have a bigger one.
Yep, he's good with that stuff. I like talking to him.
Right on. All right, Brolicon's got a comment, says, Mr. Gary, don't forget to mention the Discord. You do some special things for the Discord members sometimes, right?
Yeah, there's some stuff running right now. I think Jay put together the promotions. I think there's some extremely aggressive pricing that we've done with machines and plush also that are really Discord only. Actually, they're so low that if it starts getting outside the group, it's going to cause some problems with some of our other resellers and stuff like that. But we're very aggressive in the pricing to you guys in the group, and I think that also that we want it, to be known if you're going to be a bigger buyer, like 5-10 pieces at some point in the future. Always talk to us. We have the flexibility to work with this. We never want to lose a sale, due to price. So if you see another guy selling something, for less, let us sell you at least something good that you can feel good about that's going to be there. And the bigger buyers, I had a guy call me yesterday who's also in the group. I don't want to say who, and he's like, I do my own importing, but from now on, I want you to do my cranes for me by the container. He's going to do Clawmanias. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I know what you pay now, and I know the company needs to make money, and we all need to eat on our end and stuff like that. But he saw the value in that. So never let a price you see online, anybody who's in the group, like just reach out to us. We'll make it happen if it's reasonable for everybody.
There you go. All right, we got a couple more super chats. I know I saw one from Zach Brown for $1.99 says, this is for David, go Cowboys.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it, buddy.
Do you guys put a lot of sports stuff in your cranes?
As far as like plush goes, or just any kind of sports memorabilia?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done some jerseys and stuff and cut to wins. Had a Tyreek Hill signed Dolphins jersey we put in last football season. Couple of signed jerseys and that sort of thing. But as far as sports, NFL plush, MLB plush, NHL plush, not doing a ton of that.
Seems like it's more difficult to get that kind of stuff lately too.
It's true, yeah.
Because licensing is so expensive. It puts so many companies out of business. My family's in the sports licensing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of why I asked, but they put so many people out. I figured Texas would be a good place for a lot of sports stuff.
Yeah, and it's a good point. It used to be more readily available, and I think it's only a matter of it not being available is the reason we're not putting it out anymore, or at least not available at a price that makes sense.
All right, one more from Zach Brown. This one made me laugh when I saw it. It's $1.99 super chat. It says, can you put crabs in those waterproof cranes? I can just imagine those on the Jersey Shore.
Oh, geez.
We did that a long time ago. We did the lobster crane.
Lobster cranes.
You did?
Yeah, back in the early 2000s. We showed it at the show. A couple people still make them out there, I think, or they're old ones that are around. It's just a nightmare. Keeping the water's got to be the right temperature. Otherwise, the lobsters die. Who would think they die? You just leave them forever. But, just a maintenance nightmare. But, yeah, we did do that. And actually, at the overseas shows, you see a lot of times they have goldfish cranes with instead of a scoop, they have
I've seen those.
Almost like you would have in your kitchen, like a strainer scoop. I think you call it
a ladle, like a
ladle with holes in the bottom. So that goes down and goes into the goldfish and picks them up, and then they get plopped down on the side. So I think Peter would have a field day with that if we ever did anything like that in the country.
I totally saw that on TikTok or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, someone posted it in one of the groups too.
Maybe that's why I saw it.
No, tasty.
Frowned upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise doing anything with live animals in them. It's just a nightmare.
They die.
Zach Brown also says the Pipeline Box Buster. That's where it's at. Love the lighting.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah. I know. I got to get a good look at some of those new machines at the NBVA show this past March, and man, they are bright and light and look awesome.
You can see your booth a mile away. It's pretty awesome.
I love it.
Thank you.
Question for all of us, I guess.
All right, Waco wants to know. Here's a fun question: do you all prefer claw machines or arcade games or redemption games?
No video games. No video arcade games.
I mean, honestly,
Agreed.
nobody plays them. Nobody plays them anymore. Like,
Yep.
Just a
you can
waste
do-
of space.
you can do that on your phone.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
Nobody
unless
plays the
reality.
unless you're talking to your Betson salesman or your Moss or your Schaefer salesman, there's probably nobody in their right mind that's going to say, "Yeah, you got to have this driving game because
Yep.
you need it." Nah,
For
that's the only person-
$24,000. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
and it's on a dedicated 20 amp
Sure.
circuit.
10% of that by a crane.
And you
you'll
need a
make-
220 amp plug dedicated
Yeah.
for this still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few video staples, but there's not many. It stops in the 1, 2, or 3. But yeah, claw machines and merchandisers is where it's at.
I have
Right.
them
I
in my
mean, we were at the
arcade.
show. You can ask Matt, David, and well, you were walked around too, I'm sure, Gary, and so did you, David. But you know, the things that everybody was buying, that everybody was looking at, was claw machines. Those, you know, like the over the edge machines, or the one that you have,
the
which
poker
is-
prize machines. Those ones are all like
Look out below.
those are the ones this year.
Yeah, the poke. That was gonna say the carousel machines were super popular. It's everything about redemption. That is what it's about. People want to win something. If they're gonna put $1 into a machine, they want the chance at least to win something, versus putting $1 in a machine to go around a track 2 or 3 times. Like doesn't do them for it. They can do all that at home on their PlayStation 5,
PlayStation.
or they'd rather go play the cut to win next door with the PlayStation 5 in it and try to win that. So I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, those machines. And if anybody asks you, you know, I think if you were Dave and Buster's, sure, it makes sense. If people are going to be hanging around in your location for 2 or 3 hours with nothing to do but you know, play games and whatever, then it makes sense to have those machines. But anywhere else, no way. Get as many of those claw machines and redemption games as you can and make as much money as you can, because that's where it's at. So very cool. And like you talked, Gary, with your on the shore locations, that allows you to have, you know, all these different theme machines and give everybody something to play for, you know, and give them a lot of choices. And then the super smart thing about doing what you're doing, Gary, too, is that not everybody just likes one thing. So they're going to see, the Star Wars one, and then they go, you know, there's a Deadpool one. Oh man, there's a, you know, Mario one, or whatever it is. And they're going to play all 3 of those versus one machine with all that stuff in it a few times. They'll go and play each one at least one time. And so you get to spread that around. So super smart. Yeah. So let's see.
All right, we're low on time, guys. So if you have any really important questions, throw those in there right now so we can get those asked before we wrap this up.
Okay, so let me see if there's any quick ones in here that I can. Caden had a question. We just kind of covered the answer to that one. So let's see. This is a good topic because I think that machines have replaced these, and I think that this is a good topic too. So,
Caden says, "What do you think about stacker machines?" I think stacker machines are they're old. you
Yeah.
know?
Okay.
there you go.
So I still run them in my arcade. I run the jumbo ones, the giant stackers. They still kick ass. It's a great machine and everything like that. So sneak preview for Discord members only. That we're actually bringing it back
Ooh,
Oh, cool. Very
good
cool.
to know.
in a super modern, super bright cabinet with the same gameplay as the old one. Because Stacker's 20 years old right now, so a lot of people in this group and a lot of the players that are looking at the machines don't know what it is. Whoever asked the question about is it anything anymore? The 20-year-old cabinet looks like a 20-year-old game at this point, so it's not going to get the attraction that this new one is. Multicolor blocks, and wait till you see it. It's phenomenal. The samples are already on
It's
the way.
kind of like the Poca prize. It all circles back to like things that
Sports
happened
Arena.
in the past
Yeah.
and got revamped.
Like Sports Arena, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So funny.
Here's somebody, and I'm wondering if they have an FEC by saying this, because not a lot of people are going to have one of those giant Jurassic Parks. But
Steven says, yeah, Jurassic Park is the ATM of amusement. I know they're popular machines.
Yeah,
that's the exception for us. We'll put a Jurassic Park in almost every location that's worth putting multiple games in. But the problem with that, especially as someone trying to break in as a new operator, is they're getting close to 20 grand.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure you put it in the right location.
And they're big.
They're very big. They're very big. It takes multiple people to install. They in the right location. As far as on the bar partner side, that's the exception to the video game rule. It's an evergreen game. I hope it continues. It's been a good run for it, but it prints money in the right location. There's no doubt about it.
Are you a fan of the battle pods with Star Wars?
We have not put any on our route. I've seen them out there, but we have not. I have no experience with it as an operator. Halo is a similar game to Jurassic Park. We've seen it earn about 15%, 20% less than a Jurassic Park. Still good numbers in the right location, but if you're going to go all in on a video game, Jurassic Park's the one to do it on.
Yeah. So I have one quick one about another sports question. So, and then that's probably almost going to wrap us up. So
yeah. So this one from PA Pokemon Poll says, what do you guys think about sports or Pokemon product machines? Just started seeing ones that vend entire boxes of cards in packs that are way overpriced.
Whoa, boxes.
Boxes. So like I know there's one in New Jersey at the old Showboat in the Lucky Snake Arcade. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it's like a snack machine, but a very large one, more modern. It's got different sizes. You can get packs, you can get boxes, tins, all kinds of stuff. And I'm sure it does really well because people love Pokemon.
There's a company that's running them in all the different Krogers. I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about. It's a huge machine. It's a huge Pokemon machine, and all the different Krogers have them.
Here's a good question. That's a good way to also wrap us up. So
good. All right. Last one from LED One Shot says, can you say who the guests are just tuning in? Yes. Do you guys want to tell them who you are one more time before we wrap it up?
Go ahead, Gary.
Gary from Pipeline Games.
Gary, what's your phone number and how do they get in touch with you?
24/7. You can just text me. No. It's funny. Anybody, if I'm talking to somebody on Facebook Messenger or through here or whatever like that, I do give out my personal cell phone number so people can text me all the time. Or you can get me through Facebook Messenger or whatever.
Go to pipelinegames.com and their phone number and everything's on there to contact them. Please be kind, contact during business hours, or go on Facebook, do a friend request, and he'll answer all your questions. And then, David, you want to tell them who you are and what the best way to get in touch with you is?
Sure, yeah. I'm David Lahti. I'm one of the co-founders of Bar Partners. We're a nationwide route operator. And you can go to our website, barpartners.net. If you want to email us, info@barpartners.net.
Nice. And then, Jen, everybody knows you, but please introduce yourself since you are a guest.
Jennifer Jaynes, out of Portland, Oregon, president of the National Bulk Vendors Association.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all the knowledge, the tips for the other vendors out there and operators. We really appreciate that. And I really feel like with your guys' knowledge, there's definitely another live stream in it for all of us for talk about machines and tips and tricks. We'd love to have you back and cover a lot more of that stuff. I think it's fantastic. So
I like to help people and answer questions. If anybody just reach out to me, whether it's related or not related, I like to help people. So feel free.
Nice.
Great meeting you guys. We'll do it again sometime.
Cool.
Right, cool.
Sounds
Thanks,
great.
guys. Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys, everyone out there for watching, thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's stream. A little bit different than what you're used to, but I think we got some really great knowledge and info. So thanks again for coming back week after week. Don't forget to join us next week for the big giveaway, and we'll see you next time.